Most people watching this don't need to be told what deep concealment is. You've already carried long enough to know the difference between a gun that's technically small and one you'll actually keep on you when conditions aren't ideal. This list isn't about chasing the smallest numbers on a spec sheet, and it's definitely not about range performance. It's about the pistols that still make sense after you've tried the popular options. Dealt with printing, weight fatigue, awkward grips, and the reality of daily movement. Every gun here exists because someone decided that comfort, consistency, and discretion mattered more than shootability bragging rights. Some of these are modern refinements. Others are old-school solutions that refuse to disappear for a reason. If you're expecting one perfect answer, you won't find it. What you will find is a realistic look at which .380 pistols actually earn their place when concealment becomes a non-negotiable constraint, not a marketing buzzword. Let's get into it. The Kel-Tec P-3AT represents the lower boundary of what a semi-automatic .380 pistol can be, while still remaining functional for defensive carry. Its role in a deep concealment context is defined almost entirely by physical constraints rather than performance ambition. In terms of size, the P-3AT is extremely compact. The slide is short, the frame is slim, and overall weight remains exceptionally low, even when loaded. This combination makes it viable for carry methods that punish heavier or thicker pistols, including pocket carry in lightweight clothing and ankle carry over long periods. There is minimal excess material, which directly reduces bulk and printing. From a technical standpoint, the pistol uses a double-action-only trigger system with a long, consistent pull. Sights are minimal and not designed for precision shooting beyond close distances. The light weight produces a sharper recoil impulse than heavier .380 pistols, and this limits sustained shooting comfort. However, the simple operating system reduces mechanical complexity and favors reliability under basic maintenance conditions. This pistol is not optimized for shootability, ergonomics, or extended practice sessions. In practical terms, this size reduction changes how the pistol interacts with clothing and movement. Sitting, bending, or walking for long periods does not shift the gun's position the way heavier models often do. That consistency is especially relevant for carriers who rely on pocket or ankle carry as a secondary or low-profile option rather than a primary fighting pistol. Its relevance comes from the fact that it can be carried in situations where larger pistols are frequently left behind. For experienced carriers, the P-3AT illustrates how deep concealment often requires accepting mechanical and ergonomic compromises in exchange for maximum portability. The Ruger LCP-2 occupies a middle ground between ultra-minimal pocket pistols and more shootable micro-compacts. Its design retains the extremely small footprint required for deep concealment, while introducing refinements that improve practical handling. Dimensionally, the LCP-2 remains well within pocket carry limits. The slide length is short. The grip height is kept low, and overall thickness is minimal. Weight stays low enough to avoid discomfort or drag in light clothing, which is critical for consistent daily carry in warm climates or active environments. This becomes noticeable during extended wear, where even minor weight differences affect belt tension, pocket sag, or draw consistency for carriers who rotate clothing styles throughout the day. This level of weight control reduces the need to adjust holsters or change carry positions, which directly supports consistent concealment. The technical changes compared to earlier minimalist designs are subtle but meaningful. The LCP-2 uses a lighter, crisper trigger system than traditional double-action pocket pistols, reducing the effort required for accurate first shots. The sights, while still small, are more defined and usable within realistic defensive distances. A locked breech operating system helps manage recoil relative to the pistol's weight, improving control without increasing size. These characteristics do not turn the LCP-2 into a range-focused pistol. Instead, they reduce the friction points that often discourage regular carry. The pistol remains compact enough for deep concealment, while offering just enough mechanical refinement to support consistent, repeatable use. For carriers who want minimal dimensions without reverting to the harshest compromises, the LCP-2 fits squarely within that niche. The Walther PPK approaches deep concealment from a fundamentally different design philosophy than modern polymer pocket pistols. Its inclusion on this list is based on shape and mechanical layout rather than weight optimization. In terms of dimensions, the PPK maintains a relatively slim profile with a flat-sided slide that sits close to the body when carried inside the waistband. Grip height is controlled, reducing printing under light cover garments. However, the all-steel construction increases overall weight significantly compared to polymer alternatives. Technically, the added mass alters how the pistol behaves during firing. Recoil is more subdued, slide movement is more consistent, and follow-up shots are easier to manage. The double-action's single-action trigger system provides a longer, heavier initial pull followed by a lighter single-action reset, which some carriers prefer for appendix or deep IWB carry. The fixed barrel design also contributes to mechanical accuracy at close to moderate distances. The trade-off is carry comfort over extended periods. The added weight can become noticeable in certain concealment methods, particularly pocket or ankle carry. As a result, the PPK is less versatile than lighter options. Its relevance lies in demonstrating that deep concealment is not solely dependent on minimum weight, but also on profile geometry and mechanical stability. For carriers who prioritize shape and controllability over absolute lightness, the PPK remains a viable if specialized. The Smith & Wesson Bodyguard Zero reflects a shift toward modernizing the Micro 380 category without abandoning its deep concealment purpose. Its position on this list comes from refinement rather than extreme size reduction. Dimensionally, the Bodyguard 2.0 stays compact, with a short slide and a grip height that remains low enough to minimize printing. Compared to earlier generations, the grip geometry is more deliberate, allowing better contact without increasing overall bulk. Weight remains low, making it suitable for pocket carry and deep IWB setups where heavier pistols become noticeable over time. From a technical perspective, the most relevant changes are mechanical rather than cosmetic. The trigger system is more consistent and predictable than earlier designs, reducing the effort required for controlled shots. Magazine capacity is increased relative to its size class, which alters how the pistol fits into real-world carry decisions. Sight design is also improved, offering clearer reference points without adding height or sharp edges that could interfere with concealment. The Bodyguard 2.0 is not built to compete with larger micro-compacts in shootability. Its value lies in reducing the friction that often causes small pistols to be carried inconsistently. For experienced carriers, this model sits at the intersection of modern expectations and traditional deep concealment constraints, offering improved handling without crossing the threshold where size or weight becomes a liability. The Glock G42 occupies a distinct position in the deep concealment space by prioritizing controllability while remaining compact enough to stay concealed in demanding carry conditions. In terms of size, the G42 is larger than ultra-minimal pocket pistols, particularly in grip length and slide thickness. However, these increases remain within limits that allow effective concealment under light clothing, especially with inside the waistband or appendix carry. The grip height provides additional surface area without creating excessive printing. This added surface area also influences draw reliability. A fuller grip reduces the likelihood of partial or unstable grip acquisition under concealment, particularly when drawing from deeper carry positions, while this slightly increases overall dimensions. It improves consistency during presentation, which many experienced carriers prioritize over absolute compactness. Technically, the G42 benefits from Glock's striker-fired system and consistent trigger pull. This contributes to predictable shot placement and easier recoil management compared to lighter 380 pistols. The locked breech design and slightly increased mass reduce sharp recoil impulses, allowing faster follow-up shots within realistic defensive distances. Magazine capacity remains modest, but the trade-off favors stability and control. The G42 is less suitable for ankle or loose pocket carry than smaller options, but it compensates by offering handling handling characteristics closer to larger service pistols. For carriers who value consistency across platforms and want a deep concealment option that does not require significant changes in shooting mechanics, the G42 provides a practical compromise between concealment and shootability. The Sig Sauer P-3AT approaches deep concealment through precision manufacturing and a compact metal-framed design. Its inclusion at this position reflects how small-scale refinement can influence carry practicality physically. The P-3AT maintains a very small footprint. The slide is short, the frame is slim, and overall dimensions support pocket, ankle, or deep IWB carry with minimal printing. Despite its metal construction, weight remains manageable and contributes to stability rather than excessive carry fatigue. From a technical standpoint, the P-3AT uses a single-action trigger system, which provides a short, light trigger pull compared to double-action pocket pistols. This supports accurate shot placement despite the pistol's small size. The fixed barrel and solid construction contribute to mechanical consistency, while recoil remains more controlled than polymer pistols of similar dimensions due to added mass. The primary trade-off involves manual operation and training requirements. The single-action system demands consistent handling practices, particularly under stress. As a result, the P-3AT is better suited to carriers who are already familiar with this operating style. Within a deep concealment context, the P-3AT demonstrates how precision and compactness can coexist. It favors deliberate handling and controlled shooting over extreme minimalism, placing it near the top of the list for experienced carriers seeking a small pistol without sacrificing mechanical clarity. Deep concealment pistols are not selected for training comfort. They are selected for consistency of carry under unfavorable conditions. The LCP Max fits this role because it minimizes the reasons not to carry. It does not demand heavier clothing, specialized holsters, or behavioral adjustments. For carriers who prioritize staying armed without advertising that fact, this balance of size, capacity, and mechanical simplicity places the LCP Max at the top of a deep concealment-focused list. Deep concealment is always about trade-offs, and none of the pistols on this list pretend otherwise. Every option here gives up something: comfort, shootability, or ease of training, in exchange for consistency of carry when conditions aren't ideal. That's the common thread, and it's why these guns continue to show up in real-world carry rotations long after the hype fades. There isn't a universal answer here. Body type, clothing, environment, and carry method all change the equation. What works perfectly for one person may end up sitting at home for someone else, and at that point, the specs stop mattering. The only metric that counts is whether the pistol actually stays with you. If you carry a 380 for deep concealment, drop your pick in the comments and explain why it works for you. Different perspectives help everyone refine their own setup. And if this breakdown was useful, consider subscribing for more focused, experience-driven discussions like this. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.